in beautiful South Florida. You can imagine what there is for CFL alumni down here. Tons. And we go to Grey Cup week in Hamilton. There's probably very few busier guys than Jim Barker of the CFL on TSN panel. He's joined us every Friday throughout the season, brought to you by EMJ Marketing. And Jim, thanks for finding the time for us. Grey Cup week. You seem to be, judging by the photos, perhaps the most popular man at Grey Cup week. Can you confirm or deny?
That I'm not sure about, but yeah, I was in Niagara Falls last night for the awards, and I'm actually sitting in my favorite little restaurant, the Hobnob in Niagara on the Lake, on my way back to Hamilton for some more things. But yeah, no, it's a busy week, and just part of the exciting time of being moving to the media side.
Dude, you must be getting this a lot this year. I have a lot of football guys come up to me and just in the last couple of weeks and go, oh, I got an interesting call, but you're media. They give you that look. You're media. So I'm like, well, kid, don't tell me then. I can see why you don't want to be a media guy. Everybody's afraid to talk to you. Are you getting that?
Yeah, no, because I still deny being a media guy. I say I was just joking with Rick Campbell on Wednesday night. I said, I'll never become one of them. I'll always be one of you.
Yeah, so, I don't think you can. I mean, you can be both, unless you don't want to be both. But that's what you are this week. So, Jim, maybe we should jump into the matchup. And I know come Sunday you're going to have to give your pick because I watch every Grey Cup Sunday, and you media people do that. But what's your breakdown of the game?
Well, I think this is a tough call for Montreal. I just, we don't give an Executive of the Year award, but if they did, even though the Argos won 16 games, you have to look at what Danny Machocha did. With the addition mid-season of Darnell Sankey and Sean Lemon in 2012, when we won the 100th Grey Cup, we made an addition around the same time, September, bringing Adriano Belli in, and he just changed our locker room, his personality, everything about him. And it kind of catapulted us. Well, these guys have done this. They've won 7 in a row. Their defense is playing lights out. And anytime that happens, you have a chance. So, if they can keep it close and, you just never know what happens. But, boy, that Winnipeg team they're watching them last week. It was just like the game was never, even though the score wasn't, humongous, they didn't blow them out. They were just in such control of the football game, and they know exactly what they want to do, and they do it so well. They're so physical. I saw Montreal has gone to a lot of this 3-3 since they've gotten Sankey, so they can get Sankey, Avery Williams, and Beverette all on the field at the same time. So a 3-man front with 3 linebackers, and what that does, it really creates some protection issues. There's so many different combinations, and now you have basically, guys coming off the edge, second people that are a little faster and a little bit different challenge for those tackles. They have Hardrick, who lost out to DeJohn Allen last night for the outstanding offensive lineman, and then Stanley Bryant, the defending. I think he's been the offensive lineman of the year in the CFL for the last, it seems like 10 years. So, but those guys, they're going to be blocking smaller guys in addition to Sean Lemon. But with this 3-3 look that Montreal's running, and it's giving people problems. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. But again, Zach Collaros last year, I don't think I was with Toronto and watching him in the pregame. I don't know if you remember, but he sprained his ankle or something the week. He was not himself. He's going to be himself, and to me, he's just a difference maker. And obviously, his 4th straight start, the first quarterback in CFL history to start 4 straight years in a Grey Cup. It's a great story, and I'm expecting him to play huge. I think that's going to be a lot for Montreal to overcome. Offensively, Montreal is going to struggle. I mean, they've run the ball okay, not great. Cody, if they don't turn the ball over, Shoot, I don't know if it was on this show, but somebody asked me about last week and can they beat Toronto? And I said, well, yeah, if Toronto turns it over 10 times, well, they almost did. They turned it over 9 times. So, you never know about those kind of things. But, Winnipeg's just so well rounded. And, whether they give up the touchdowns the way that Toronto did, I mean, they had 2 pick sixes and a kickoff return for a touchdown. That's 21 points that is tough to overcome, and especially in a Grey Cup game. So I don't see those things happening, but you never know. It's what makes the CFL the great game that it is.
Well, nobody saw the Argo implosion coming, so who knows what's going to come on Sunday. I'm with you. I'm not, unless you want to give your pick right now. Are you going to save it till Sunday, or do you want to make it right now?
No, I'm happy to. I'm going to pick Winnipeg. I just think that they are. They're just too solid all the way around, and Montreal's offense. Austin Mack is a good young player, and and Sneed is a good young player, and Stanback is a solid guy. I don't know that Lestage is going to be back on the offensive line. I think that gives them a problem. And again, their defenses, they're playing well, but they're still young. They've got, youngsters in the back end, Stubblefield and Cabianento. And again, this stage it's even bigger than the Eastern Final, obviously. It's a different type of ball game. So I like having veterans, and that's what the Bombers bring. The Bombers bring a lot of veterans. They've been there. They've done that. They could lose Big Hill, and if that happens, then there's going to be an adjustment there. But I thought Malik Clemens came in and played outstanding for Winnipeg. They actually looked a little faster. Obviously, Big Hill is the heart and soul of that thing, but. It's going to be really interesting to watch how Montreal tries to attack them, because that defensive front, the only true game wrecker. I mean, Sean Lemon's had a great year, but Willie Jefferson is a game wrecker. If you're an offensive coordinator, he can absolutely ruin your game. And I don't know if you remember back 2008 when I was in Calgary, Mike Labinjo batted down, I think, 5 passes from Anthony Calvillo, and that was the deciding factor in the game. Well, last week against BA, they batted down 4 passes, and I think 1 led to an interception. But having Jefferson and Jeffcoat coming off the edges, and you get they like to bring Jefferson down into the B gap, and you bring him through the B gap. That's the quarterback throwing lane, and again. There's just so much on that defense to like that. It's going to be interesting to see how Montreal is going to score, how they're going to move the ball, and that type of thing. Like I say, Winnipeg can do it a lot of different ways. Their receiving corps still beat up. Dembski didn't practice much this week. He played last week. Rashid Bailey, I actually chatted with him a bit, and he's going to play. He does all the dirty work, but he's still not 100%. And those kind of things can affect you.
Oh.
And like I say, we saw last week with basically no receivers, that Winnipeg offense still found a way. 100 yards in the first half for Brady Oliveira. That's tough to beat.
We both got Winnipeg to win the game. But the bar flies, a viewer in Winnipeg writes in and says, the most outstanding player goes to the guy who threw his training staff onto the team bus. That's what I was going to ask you next. We got the game to talk about, but there's also the awards. There's got to be a lot of talk in your circles about Chad Kelly being named the MVP of the league last night. Says he suffered a concussion in the East Final. Frankly, I don't believe that, and I'm a Chad Kelly fan. I'm a fan. I love the comeback story. It's really sad what happened on the weekend, but he can still come back. But what is your take on this whole situation with Chad Kelly, Jim?
Again, I haven't spoken with him, and I am fairly close to him. It's not something I really want to comment about because I don't know exactly the context. Yeah. And again, things can get swapped around in context. I know some media people were upset about it. He had done some interviews, and then he, and didn't mention it, and then he went over to Justin Dunk and almost in passing. And again, is that the right thing? No, it's not the right thing to do. And I don't know what to say. I really don't have any comment on it. I mean, I feel bad that Chad he's made a lot of strides this year in the last 2 years. He's been 2 years of exactly what you want. And again, that implosion we all watched, it was rare. I mean, I don't know how you explain it. But then to come out of that and if in fact, again, I've heard all the things, but I haven't talked to him. Until I talk to him, find out the context and why he did that and things, I'm going to just not comment on it. It didn't make me real excited, which I've always been excited. I've been a huge Chad Kelly fan from the day I met him when he first got to Toronto, when I was on the staff there, and I've just been a huge fan of his, and I just think he's been doing all the right things, and I think his heart is in the right place. Again, how any of us would react to something like that, and I'm not going to make an excuse for him, because there is no excuse if in fact he threw people under the bus and that type of thing. So again, I thought his acceptance speech was well done. There was nothing at all about any of that, and but I did not stick around to see him afterwards. He was obviously involved in interviews and media interviews and things along those lines. So I really don't want to comment on it, Rod. It's a shame, but again, we're dealing with, a young guy who has a basically unbelievably phenomenal year and deserved that award based on the year he had, taking to a team to 16 wins. I think anytime that happens, that I wanted him to come out of it, and you can't explain it. I mean, watching it my jaw was on the ground. It was almost like it just slipped away, and then he tried to do more, and then he tried to do more, and then he tried to do more. And, it's going to be really interesting, because Matt add some intrigue to next year is of how he comes back from this. And is this something that's going to linger with him? I hope not. But like I say, the things you've heard.
Well, let me interject. Because you said you don't want to comment on it. I know where he's at. He had no explanation for what happened last weekend, so it looks like he made something up. I understand the kid. I get it. And I know that you like him. You respect him for what he's done. He's a good kid. I've been in those shoes, so I know exactly where he's coming from, and I think you bring him back and you give him a chance to redeem himself, and he will. He got on the big stage and blew up. It happens. Last one, before we let you go, what are you enjoying about Grey Cup week in your role this time around?
I enjoy seeing the fans. It's, just walking, when you walk around the city and the fans come up and they talk to you. Everybody with gray hair says I'm their favorite panelist. So, it's, those kind of things are neat. It's just fun to get a chance to talk to the fans. What I like about the media is, like right now, I'm talking to fans, and that's important to me, to hopefully bring a different perspective, a perspective that really there's nobody else in the media that has, the background I have is just different. And so again, I enjoy that. This league has given me so much, and for me to be able to give back in this manner is it's just special for me. So yeah, that's the greatest thing about the Grey Cup is, I mean, got stopped by some people. It was Saskatchewan, a lady from Saskatchewan, a guy from Hamilton. They're wearing their stuff, their garb. They were married, but that's it. That's what the CFL is. It's a celebration of Canadian football, and that's what's so beautiful. You go to a Super Bowl, it's all corporate. This is what it's about. Yeah. And anybody who comes to it, and doesn't fall in love with the CFL. I mean, it's an amazing thing to watch. So that's what I enjoy the most, is just seeing fans just walking in the streets and that type of thing. And Hamilton is the setup is fantastic. Tomorrow we're at the Armory to do our Grey Cup Saturday show. It's just the way they have the whole thing set up is fantastic, and the fans that are here are really excited about being here, and the weather's great. So it's been a fun couple days, and they have an extra day this year, so the coaches had an extra day to prepare. So at the media day, when I was a coordinator, I never got to go to that. I was always working, trying to get, but all the coordinators were there. Everybody was able to come to them and enjoy the media thing. And because because of playing on Saturday, it gives them the extra day of preparation. So it's been a blast.
It all looks absolutely fantastic and very positive. We'll be watching from here. Jim, thanks as always. Hopefully we can do it next week. We'll put a wrap on it.
Okay, great. Thanks, Rod.
Have fun. The CFL on TSN's Jim Barker. Our chat is brought to you by EMJ Marketing. Contact Joe at emjmarketing.com. He'll provide the perfect keynote speaker for your event, including Jim Barker, who's on his roster.